Well, hello people! This is going to be a short video, hopefully, about a laughing witch and what she's been up to.
Hello everyone, this is Champion Man 90. Ugh! Damn it, I can't see a thing in this.
Now, basically what has happened is, I know Plume did a video on this, and I'll link the video down below and his blog, which has all the evidence that you could possibly find, plus Laughing Witch's video for yourself, so you can all find out what happened and hear the two sides. Basically, what has happened is Laughing Witch has made a 35 minute long ramble epic of a video where she basically accuses King Crocoduck of some kind of men's rights atheist conspiracy to destroy her business from within, and that basically he was not trying to help her in any way during the months of the initial drama. She claims that he was wanting all these employee details or names. He wanted their bank details, their wage information. He wanted their basically all information he needed in order to fund them through their difficult times. Because as you can see, King Crocoduck did this out of the goodness of his heart. He wanted to kind of establish a link between us anti-SJWs and them to try and basically end it, and because he thought that their business was basically, you know, on the brink of collapse because of a few bad reviews. Although he did throughout all their exchanges begin to doubt this, because one, Jennifer was stopping him from getting their employees' account details. I mean, for a start, he would never have known their real names. He would not have known their email addresses. He would just know them by these certain amount of pseudonyms. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He would pay money according to their needs, and this would have been the $25,000 that they wanted, as if that could pay people in medium-sized houses and apartments. And she claims that her and her husband didn't want this kind of idea at all, that he was trying to use these employee details to get back at the business, to destroy it, because there's a whole conspiracy going on. The men's rights activists are after her because she went after their baby Thunderfoot, and now it's her act of revenge. No, that's not what happened. King Crocoduck was doing this because as a neutral party he is not an MRA. In fact, most of us aren't. I'm not, Aldous Valor isn't, Agent of Doubt is not, etc, etc. None of us are. Felthop is, but he's not doing this because he wants to destroy the business. Quite the opposite. He's just pointing and laughing at you like I am and what Aldous Valor is doing. So this is before we found out that this was a fraud. But King Crocoduck thought that this fundraiser could be used to help the employees, but Jennifer, well, she wanted all the money for herself. She stopped the husband from giving King Crocoduck the necessary details that he needed in order to, you know, give the money to the employees, because if the employees were so important to Jen and Paul, why the hell would they immediately just say, no, we don't want to give you these? And basically they said, no, we don't want to give people their our details. Why would we need this? And plus, he's not being entirely honest with them. They probably don't even know all this shit is because of her YouTube antics. So she's basically thrown King Crocoduck under the bus. King Crocoduck basically has learned a valuable lesson here, that you never trust a social justice warrior, because eventually they will steamroll you, throw you under the bus, and call you a misogynist MRA shitlord who needs to be treated horribly and taught a lesson. Because, like the Romans, you can ally with them, but don't trust them, because they will take your land. So, King Crocoduck, in a lengthy response in the comment section of the video, put it thusly. He wanted the details so he could pay all this money to them directly. You didn't, because now that it turns out that the company has had long... And well, you know, why let me paraphrase him when we can quote him directly? So, it's quite long-winded, so please bear with me. King Crocoduck's comment on her video, and this is from No Plume's blog, and it's also on YouTube, you can find it. He says, "You're not just a laughing witch, you're a lying bitch. Anything that I'm about to say can and will be substantiated. It's all down below. But here's a summary of where you're being mendacious. I was given the impression that your company was doomed from your own affiliates, like Kevin Logan. This did not in any way dance over your grave, the way you danced over Thunderfoot's Job's grave, back when you thought that your campaign did shit. This was a recognition of the seriousness of the situation, which your husband agreed on in our conversation. He kept on telling me that he wasn't sure if the business would survive. So I said that with this money I'd raised for you, your employees would get paid, which would not only guarantee their continued livelihood, but would also ease the burden on your business, so you'd be able to keep the money you otherwise would have paid them. But let's be clear, Jen, my priority was always, from the very start, your employees, not you. I made this unambiguously clear in several forums, all of which I knew you lurked in. I'm not a men's rights anything. Never have I spoken about things like the draft, quotas, or any of that shit that actual MRAs talk about. Ideology was exactly jack shit to do with this. I wasn't determined to have your business die. Just because I prioritised your employees doesn't mean I tried to engineer your business's death. In any case, the money that you wouldn't have had to have paid to your employees because of me would have gone to heating, lighting, personal debts, and whatever. As the company's alleged head of finances, you should have known that. But maybe you didn't because you don't actually do shit for the company. But that's just my speculation. Maybe you're not that incompetent. Maybe you're just a liar. 4. Here are the 2 things that I actually needed for this campaign. 1. The employees' PayPal accounts and the percentages of the cuts that they would get. I came up with a numerical system that would ensure everyone's privacy. No one would know how much anyone else makes, and all I know is that I gave 6% to person 1, 4% to person 2, etc. I would never know anyone's real names, just their PayPal account aliases, and the percentage of their cut. 2. Statements to prove that the company had been teetering on bankruptcy in recent years, and that this Yelp incident could actually tip you over. Neither of this were unreasonable, especially for someone in a situation as allegedly bleak as yours. I had made clear that all personal information should be redacted. This information was important because people made it clear that they would have been willing to give only if I could guarantee that it'd go to the employers and the company that was actually in danger. You knew this. I said it several times, but apparently you wanted to take all of the money for yourself, in addition to the fact that the business wasn't in any actual danger. That's why you went with your fundraiser, and as I predicted, almost no one contributed. Funnily enough, before you got involved, your husband was very happy with my idea. He even said that he was tearing up, that he couldn't believe that someone would do this for him. 5. This is the lie we're going to tell my subscribers. You pulled that straight out of your ass. What I said was that we present the situation in a way that emphasises that your employees took the brunt of the damage, not you. That way, people would be more inclined to contribute. No one gives a fuck about you, Jen. It's your employees that people wanted to help. So I focus a narrative around them. Basically, what he's basically saying is that Laughing Witch has made this all about herself. She actually very rarely talks about the employees. Paul will talk about the employees, but he only uses them as a way to get sympathy for him and Laughing Witch. They don't give a shit about them. If they truly gave a shit about these employees, people, they would not have started this drama in the first place. They would have, if they were truly in danger, and if they could truly pay them with $25,000 and not pay their debts with $25,000, they would have done what King Crocoduck suggested. But they didn't. But let's continue. 6. He comes up with this cock and bull story about how I have nothing to do with the business. I'm just a wacky old lady, and I blew it all up for Paul. It's all my fault. Well, before I get into how it's all her fault, let's just see what King Crocoduck says. That's not a cock and bull story. That's the fucking truth. You are just a wacky old lady. You did blow it all up for Paul. It is all your fault. Your own husband said as much in our conversation. Whatever you have to do with the business, like I said, it's my speculation that you sit at home all day on the computer while everyone else does the work. Presenting the situation that way is the obvious way to distance you from your employees, the people we were actually trying to help. But your fucking ego got in the way, didn't it, Jen? You couldn't stand taking any role other than that of the innocent but heroic martyr. As it happens, it is my understanding that you referred to my framing the situation this way as a MRA wet dream, which is hilarious. considering how much your husband seemed to like the idea. Your own husband said that was powerful, and he assured me that you'd be comfortable with it. I suppose that makes you married to an MRA, doesn't it, Jen? By your retarded standards for what counts as an MRA, that is. 7. Put that feminist in her place kind of thing. And I had to denounce feminism and denounce everything I was. Fucking liar. I never said that you had to denounce shit. The words feminist and feminism didn't even come up once in our conversation. All that I said was to distance you from the fucking company by presenting you as the snivelling little child you are, albeit far more gently than I just put it. You completely made this up, you disingenuous, slanderous, deranged, imbalanced lunatic. Well, let's be honest here, people. This is what she said in the video. She tried to claim that King Crocoduck wanted to present her as this old, crazy, wacky lady who picked the fight she couldn't win, which, let's be honest, is what she did. Anyone with half a brain cell could work out who is the victim and who's the victimizer here and who started it and who didn't start it. And I've read these logs and he never mentioned feminism. He never even said that in their narrative that they would present her as someone being put in her place, or that he wanted to put her in their place. He never said that. That was never his intention at all. Why would he talk to your husband in the first place? Why did he go and give $20 of his own money and risk his subscribers' money to help you in the first place? Doesn't quite make sense, Jennifer, does it? Well, her argument is the narrative. I mean, let's be honest, King Crocoduck was completely misled. He assumed that Thunderfoot had gone corrupted by his power and that he was just trying to destroy her, and that in many ways he believed what she said, but now I don't think he does believe her for 1 minute, now that he's been shafted by her. True, he did try to create a narrative, but he tried to create a narrative to help you. He tried to make what you've been saying a lot less narcissistic, disgusting and horrible, and perhaps more sympathetic. You know, and also a lot less pathetic, because your husband didn't help things either. And anyway, let's continue with his last point. And number 8, you're full of shit when he said that Paul didn't want to do the fundraiser the way I said to do it. He was very eager and excited to do this. And you contacted me the very next morning, thanking me for everything that I was doing, and offering to show me the employee pay stubs so that I could calculate who gets how much. It wasn't until I made it clear that I wouldn't budge on the 2 financial details that I needed that you and Paul went silent for 24 hours, not getting back to me until you had your fundraiser ready, and suddenly telling me about this alternative plan you came up with and asking me to spread the link on social media. So in conclusion, you're a lying bitch and deserve no sympathy from anyone. Everything that I've written here will become independently verifiable shortly. For those who want specific information for any response videos they'd like to make, please feel free to PM me. If you're going to try to slander someone, lying bitch, try a person even less competent than yourself. I know they'll be hard to find, but I'm sure you'll find someone in some mental institution who matches your mental acuity. And there you have it. Straight from the horse's mouth. Pretty much all I needed to say. This is really more of a report. I was going to do a massive video, but I have other videos to do, and I need to keep these as short as possible. So there we have it. Laughing Witch's narrative gets a stab in the back once more. It gets torn to pieces, yet still the drama train keeps going on. Now, if you want to know more about this, I will link all the stuff in. And until next time, goodbye.